We begin with U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter's visit to Seoul. This is his first visit to Korea since becoming Defense Secretary in February. He's here for talks on counteracting North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. For more, we go live to our Laah Hyun, who's standing by at the Defense Ministry in Seoul. Hyun, what's the latest?
Well, Mark, in about 20 minutes' time, U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter will walk into this very building to meet with his South Korean counterpart, Han Min-gu. The two leaders will talk about coordination against North Korean provocations and threats. Now, Carter came to South Korea yesterday after making a stop in Japan. Upon landing, one of the first things he did was to thank the American soldiers stationed here. He stressed Washington's security commitment to the Asia-Pacific region, saying the U.S. would be deploying more stealth fighters and bombers to the area from now on. Let's have a listen first.
A lot of our newer capabilities, the ones that we're making investments in, are going to be flowing into this theater because of the importance we attach to it.
So, Hyun, we'll have to wait and see what the two defense leaders talk about today. Now, before going to the Defense Ministry, Carter met with President Park Geun-hye a couple of hours ago, right?
That's right, Mark. They reaffirmed their strong alliance and also the policy of responding very sternly to North Korean provocations. But that was more like a courtesy visit. The real deal will be happening here in about half an hour at the Defense Ministry. That's when Carter and Han will start their meeting. On the official agenda are strengthening deterrence against North Korean nuclear and missile threats, as well as Washington handing over wartime military command of South Korean forces back to Seoul. Then they will hold a joint press conference before leaving for Pyeongtaek on the outskirts of Seoul. Now that's where the South Korean Navy's Second Fleet Command is stationed. Carter will be the first U.S. Defense Secretary to pay tribute to the 46 soldiers who perished in 2010 when North Korea torpedoed the Cheonan, a South Korean warship. Now that will wrap up his stay in South Korea. He will be flying out to Hawaii to visit U.S. Pacific Command on Saturday.
And Hyun, the big question on everyone's lips really is whether or not the two defense chiefs are going to talk about Washington's possible deployment of THAAD or Terminal High Altitude Area Defense to South Korea.
Well, I mean, it's both yes and no. Korean media outlets really have been focusing a lot on that topic because it has caused quite a stir recently in terms of Korea's diplomatic relations with China and Russia. The two countries opposed that, saying it would destabilize regional security. However, if deployed, Washington says its sole purpose would be to counter North Korean missile threats and really nothing more. Now, we'll have to wait and see if that will indeed come up officially or unofficially, and I will, of course, be bringing you those updates. This has been Laah Hyun at the Defense Ministry in Seoul. Back to you, Mark.